Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to Encounters. This is the first of several election specials. I will be attempting to interview all of the prospective candidates for MPs in the forthcoming election on the 8th of June. If you haven't registered to vote yet, please register to vote, unless you prefer austerity or you like the status quo. If you want change, change only comes at the ballot box. This is a democracy, and Sikh values, democratic values are very few and far between when it comes to differences. So kicking off with the most Panthic, outwardly Panthic, I wouldn't want to, disrespect any of the other candidates, but the most outwardly Panthic and the most recognisably Panthic candidate of them all, with me today is independent Panth party candidate, Jagmeet Singh.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Baji, I hope I've done you justice with my introduction.
Yeah, thank you very much.
If I haven't, please take a moment to explain who you are, and what you represent.
Simply enough, I'm just a sevadar of the Panth. So whatever needs to be done, wherever I need to do seva, wherever I'm blessed to do seva, wherever I get to do seva, I'm happy to do it. And if I'm not blessed to do it, I'm happy just to continue my life and just do whatever Maharaj really wants me to do. So above all things, I'm a family man. I'm just people's brother. I just try to live a very decent life and be open to what Guruji wants me to do, and just think how I can best add value to society. So that's one of the main things I think that, especially coming into Sikhi, that I've learnt, especially about the Khalsa. One thing I really realized about the Khalsa is it's not just a philosophy, it's an action, it's a doing. It's a being, a living, and you can only do that by, getting up and going out and doing something and trying things. So that may be as simple and beautiful as going to Pande Seva in the Gurdwara Sahib, Jode Seva. What better thing can you do? Or just being active inside Guruji's house. Or it could just be that you are nicer to people in a more genuine way and try to brighten their life in that little way. That's what also Guruji wants. So I think it's taking Sikh principles and Sikh ethos and applying it to life and just seeing where that takes you.
So being truthful, but higher still is truthful living?
Yeah, exactly.
Guru Nanak's philosophy.
Yeah.
So Baji, that isn't something that we just stumble across. That's a realization of self. How long has it been since you had that realization?
I think I'm still having it. I mean,
of course, yeah.
Because I think you can have an inkling of an idea, and then as you move through life, life reveals itself to you. Guru reveals themselves to you. Yeah. So I think number one is keep the best sangat that you can around you. People that are much better than yourself. And when I say better, people that are, have Guruji as the focus of their life. That, is going to bring you closer to the truth, because the sangat that you keep is ultimately, even in anything you do, I mean, a fact of life is you're going to be like the 5 people that you spend the most time with, whether they're negative or positive. So if you're spending all the time in the pub, hanging out with your mates, you're going to have one kind of life. If you're pursuing people like that are actually doing better than you in fields that you'd like to get involved in, be it seva, be it politics, be it anything, you should be around them learning and also trying to give, so it's finding that balance.
But those 5 people in the pub could just as well be doing Pande Seva on a Sunday.
100%. So it's not to say to judge, it's just to say, one thing I've realized, especially in my life, is time is very valuable. Yeah. One thing is the years are swimming by, they're running by, and I'm not saying that we have to have a master plan and say, I'm not going to do, just walk your path, and even, let's say, inside that pub, you can bring light there too. Yeah. So I'm not saying that there's only darkness there. I'm saying try to illuminate wherever you go, and that can kind of help others lift their spirits in a way. So you try to bring the best out of others and enjoy each other's fragrance, because I think every human being intrinsically, either we can bring each other down or we can build each other up. So if you're a builder, then I think it makes life more worthwhile. It's about seva, it comes back to giving, and I don't think you can ever regret it. That's the main thing. You can't lose giving.
You can't. At what point you could, because you've been giving for several years now, you've been giving your time, and the prachar and the seva that you've been giving your time towards has been Basics of Sikhi. What got you into that? Was that the same ethos? Was that something needs to be done? What was that?
No, not at all. I feel actually I didn't give a thing to Basics of Sikhi. What I did was
time.
No. I took from them. They gave to me so much. Like I feel like so indebted to Everything's 13, Basics of Sikhi, all the team members from the very top to the very bottom. I mean, every single one of them has helped transform and change my life. You know when I talk about Sangat?
Yeah.
That was a Sangat. Even just going to the Gurdwara, even the people, the armed Sangat that comes to the Gurdwara programs, they just transform your life. Because they're not there to mess around and have whatever. They're not there for any other reason but to get something positive, you know? So being around them, you just want to be the dust of the feet of those beautiful people. And they don't have to be quote-unquote good Sikhs. They can be anybody that has that desire for truth and love and guru. So Basics of Sikhi really was my introduction into Sikhi. About 4 or 5 years ago when I was trying to find out what a Sikh is, I had no idea. I was Munna myself. A lot of people do know my story.
Only 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, only 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, obviously I was born in a Punjabi household.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I was one of these I know-it-alls, you know. I thought I knew everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't name you all 10 gurus. I couldn't, you know, if you had questioned me any further than, yes, I know, the house of cards would have fallen down. But you know, the beautiful Sevadars at Basics of Sikhi, when they made in such bite-sized, easy-to-digest videos that you could enjoy and delve into at your own leisure and go at your own pace, then I found out who Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj and all our 10 Gurus, Guru Gobind Singh Ji and Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj really is. Then I figured out who, just conceptually, what the point of life is. And it totally blew my mind. And I thought, you know what? I've been searching for the truth my entire life. I've looked every direction. I've read so many books. I've gone to so many, you know, other doors. And the ultimate truth was right there at home, you know? And I felt so thankful. So I think it starts from a place of thankfulness. Once you have thankfulness in your heart and your mind, even if you have nothing, everything changes. Everything gets transformed. So to answer your question, I don't think I've given much to Basics of Sikhi. What I've done is I've recycled. So what they've given me, I've digested, I've implemented, I've really brought it into my soul as best I could because it touched me, and then I've given back what they've given me. So I think I'm better off in the deal, you know? And the seva of Basics of Sikhi, from what I've seen, has grown so amazingly. And looking from 2020 vision, hindsight, you can see it's totally all Guruji, plan by one by one, the dominoes, you know, to where it is now at the youth is taking over, you know. The people that were enjoying and learning, they're leading, you know. So it's absolutely beautiful, and my head always drops to them. I love them, and I wish them the very best and thank them from the bottom of my heart.
So as it stands, the members, obviously there's 3 high-profile members, yourself included.
No,
that are no longer
I would say the most
project.
No. I would say the most high-profile members would be obviously Bhai Sahib Jagraj Singh Ji,
absolutely,
Bhai Sahib Baljit Singh Ji, and then we have Mr. Beautiful Harnam Singh from Canada. He's so beautiful, a young man. Every time I'm around him, like when I first heard him speak, I was blown away. I thought, and he's been like reading Gurbani since he could almost talk. Yeah. You know, so it's like, I wish that for my child.
Oration skills are,
you know,
next level.
So I'm like, wow. And like every time he like says any word in Punjabi or Gurbani, he'll break down the meaning of like every letter almost, and just blows your mind. Like, thank you for that knowledge, Bhai Sahib.
Syllable wise, absolutely.
We've got they've got their Sarup Singh and Sukhdeep Singh and a whole host of other Sevadars coming through. So the beautiful thing about Basics of Sikhi right now is there's so much going on that you almost don't know what is going on.
Absolutely,
because they're just busy doing the work, and then it may be like, let's say, years from now, we see the videos that they're producing even now, and the seva they're doing. But
that progression is taking place as we speak.
Yeah,
with the high-profile people beginning to.
But for myself, I was actually accidentally high-profile. It was never anybody's master plan, or it really shouldn't have happened. You know,
it should have happened.
Well, Maharaj's Kirpa, like
it was nobody's decision.
Yeah, well, let's call it beyond all odds. You know, it's like a Cinderella story of sorts. You know, I was the guy behind the camera, holding the camera, and back in the early days, Maharaj Kirpa tried to help organize things, run the back office. But it turned out I was not very good at organizing and running the back office. So I tried my very best. I was like, Maharaj, give me the seva. I'm going to do my very best. And I think that's kind of how I try to live my life. Because it's up to me. I would think, I really can't do anything. It's up to me. I'd be paralyzed and just sit in bed and say, you know what, leave it. It's not for me.
Yeah, that's what we have to do with it.
My trust in Guruji says, you know, I know I can get from point A to point B, but Guruji can see to Z. I'll just trust Guruji to do it. I'll just do what I can see to do. And you never know where life is going to take you is the beautiful thing. You could zig, you could zag, you have to go with the flow. And Bhai Jagmeet Singh ji, he was the one that actually said, Jagmeet, go and do street prachar. And I begrudgingly, I was like, who am I to do street prachar? I don't know anything. And then we were doing it, we were having a really good time, and the kirpa happened. You know, I realized actually I know enough to tell somebody that has zero knowledge or less than zero, they've got misconceptions. So I thought, this much seva I can do. So I try to, like everybody that I meet, whether they're Punjabi, whether they just heard about Sikhs, whether they have, if they feel they have no knowledge, I say, you never know what knowledge you have until you try to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even that process of teaching, it teaches you. So I learned that myself. So I've learned not to trust myself, but to trust the process, and in turn trust Guruji. And I think that's where the ultimate power lies.
One of those instances of where you had to teach somebody something that you were not expecting to teach, that natural progression, so to speak, was, I'm not sure I've ever heard you speak about it, other than when it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
But you were in a town centre somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody had walked by.
Yeah.
And had commented on that sort, why are you wearing a knife?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you were not forced to, but you were given the opportunity to.
Yeah, yeah.
To explain to that person the difference between a sword, a dagger, and a kirpan.
Yeah.
A Siri Sev.
Hanji.
How did that come about? And not off camera. Do you know what I mean? What was going through your mind? We all seen how it came about.
I'll tell you exactly.
We all seen your response
I'll tell you exactly.
to it.
It's like, for me, I just have a mindset of follow the process. Yeah. Don't think about it, just follow the process. So we were just setting up for street prachar. So we set up the table, and then almost immediately, this is a Hounslow High Street, almost immediately, I think it was about January time, it was a bit cold outside, and a police officer came over to me, a woman. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to tell her about Sikhi. You know, I didn't know, I don't even think the cameras were on, or they were setting them up.
They were setting them up.
Yeah, it was something going on where they were setting them up, and I thought, I just love to talk about Sikhi. Like, even today, I feel only alive if I'm telling somebody about Sikhi. And that's just the truth. Yeah. Like, otherwise, I try to keep my mouth shut, or if we're having a conversation, like, I'm not interested anymore, really, you know? Like, Sikhi, like, I feel high, you know? Not because my goal is, you know, if you ever watched a good movie, a movie that just blew your mind, like the ending was amazing, like it had sequel, it just, and you want to say, oh, go watch that movie, mate. You know, when you get that, you know, I read a good book. Yeah. Go read this book, or I discovered this great program. Please watch this. You have that feeling that you want to.
Sense of euphoria.
Yeah. So that's what Sikhi is like to a billion times for me. Yeah. So it's transformed my life and touched me so deeply that I want to just share that with somebody else in hopes that in whatever way their lives may be touched. So that's my main thing. So I was telling the police officer about Sikhs, and then it was like about 10, 15 minutes into it, you know, and I wasn't doing a great job, by the way. If you watch the video, I wasn't doing any kind of deep analysis of anything. I was the very basics, you know, just trying to get my language down. Yeah. Just to teach myself how to talk about Sikhi. And to
was that one of your earlier, had you not been doing prachar, street prachar?
No, that was, I mean, it was into it, but it was in the early days. Yeah. And I would still say it's in the early days. You know, I'm nowhere in the advanced ages yet. I'm still in the early ages. So we were just going through it. And as soon as I said, it just occurred to me, I'm going to say to her, oh, do you know about this? And I love our kirpans. I love our shaftar. Yeah. And I feel blessed from Guruji that we are allowed to wear them in England, because I've spent time in Europe traveling sometimes, and some of these countries, like what happened in Italy just recently,
Absolutely.
they've completely banned it.
Yep.
And that to me is heartbreaking in the year 2017. And some places you have to hide like you're actually a criminal, where you're almost like a police officer hiding.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like the Akaal Central, isn't it? So I just wanted to make sure she knew, and actually she said that she doesn't know why we carry them. And I kind of had that feeling because I've talked to a bunch of people before.
Yeah.
So I just thought...
But she was aware it was legal.
She knew it was illegal.
She just didn't know why.
But I thought I wanted to tell her the significance. So let's say she stops somebody one day, she treats it with respect.
Yeah.
Or she's having a conversation with somebody else in the office or in the department. She can spread that knowledge on herself. And then this beautiful old man, you know, I love that old man. He just walked by and you can see him kind of looking. And like you can see Guruji orchestrating everything. I'm telling her and he sees it.
He's waiting for you to get handcuffed.
Yeah, yeah. And he's
at
like,
one point.
oh, it's a knife. And I thought, right. What I appreciate about him is he echoed the sentiments of a vast amount of people in the population.
Absolutely.
Some people just wouldn't say it. And so I appreciated him actually saying something. And then it's up to us not to take offense. So I feel anybody can say anything to anybody. It's your choice to be offended or not.
Absolutely.
So you have the choice to how to control yourself. I'll tell you something else real quick though. I'm not a very calm person in real life. In real life, a traffic jam can get me all worked up, you know? So in these certain situations, it's pure kirpa. So it's not like, oh, Jagmeet Singh's naturally inclined to be calm and relaxed.
Yeah.
No. Like you can see, there's Guruji keeping you calm and relaxed, and Maharaji's kirpa again. So blessings to Guruji for it. And then it just provided that chance for a conversation, you know? And the objections he had, I knew how to handle them because I had thought about these things deeply in my heart, you know? And I think, you know, like Basics of Sikhi's motto is arm yourself with knowledge.
Yeah.
And so we should arm ourselves with our shastra. We should be ready to defend somebody's honor to the death. But number one, we should arm ourselves with knowledge in all walks of life. And I've actually, in the political arena, I'm doing that now. I've got to arm myself with even more knowledge so I can be more effective and help people in the way that they need to be helped. So,
well, the Shastra, according to Guruji's hukum, is only the last resort.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people that don't quite see the distance and the number of things involved between explaining something to somebody and then drawing your Qur'an from its meaning.
Definitely.
There is a world between those two things.
Definitely.
And it's only a lack of knowledge that makes you rush from one to the other. It's A to Z
100%.
has 25 letters between it.
The beautiful thing it does is it takes away your excuse. So let's say you've gone through the process of A to Z.
Yeah.
They've got their weapons out. And they're about to hurt somebody else even, right?
Absolutely.
And then you can say, well, I would help if only I was armed.
Absolutely.
And Guruji said, stay armed.
Yeah.
So if you don't help, it's on you fully 100%, because at the end of the day, we both know we're going to be accountable.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we should always have in our heart that Maharaj gives us the opportunity to do the right thing. So if we have that in our heart, Maharaj, present me the opportunity, and then I beg you, help me live up to what I'm supposed to do. And then you realize it's all Guruji. And all we can do is depend on them for everything.
But so you've gone through this street prachar, you've learned Sikhi from sort of early adulthood, adolescence, late adolescence, early adulthood, to end up doing street prachar and being one of these figureheads of Basics of Sikhi. At one point you were invited, because of the street prachar and the effectiveness of getting the Sikh message to such a wide audience internationally. You've been noticed by the BBC. The BBC have invited you on to see television shows. At that point, did it ever occur to you that you had, not yourself, but Basics of Sikhi, or Everything's 13, had managed to do something that had spread a message of Guru Nanak that had been in the UK since like the early 1950s, late 1940s, that you had reached parts of the UK in such a short space of time that hadn't been reached in decades, and all of a sudden you were being asked to give the Sikh point of view on programs that would normally only have Judaism, Islam and Christianity, discussing things on a Sunday morning. You were invited to one of those. Did that at any point, did it dawn on you that what you had achieved in such a relatively small space of time, how significant that was?
100%. I understood the significance of the seva of Basics of Sikhi. And for when I say that, at the time, it was mainly by Jagmeet Singh ji and by Baljit Singh ji.
Absolutely.
So fully, I could see clearly their seva and what they did, and what they meant to me and what they meant to the Sangat. But I never internalized that I was, well, no. The truth is, I was never at that level. I was the small cog that was happy to be along for the journey. And that's the truth internally, and it should be the truth externally.
Absolutely.
So I was very just blessed to be around them. And in my heart, I always had, you know what? I want to be the guy that takes a bullet for the team. You know, I thought if anything happens to the team, let it be to me. Never these two. These two are the ones that they're doing the Panth seva, and that we got to keep them. Like I was just in awe of them because of what Guruji had done to them and what they had given to Guruji. They had given themselves to Guruji, and that's what I loved about them both. And I still love to this day and respect that about them. So it's not about individual personalities or who people are themselves intrinsically. It's actually, my love for anybody would be what they've done for Guruji, what they've given to Guruji, and what Guruji's done for them. Like if you can see that about a person, then you can never go wrong, I think. And then that's what I like to chase, and that's what I like to put myself around. But when I went on the BBC, number one thing I did was I tried to get somebody else on there. I tried to get by Jagmeet Singh
rather than yourself.
Yeah, because I thought, who am I to do Sri Prachar? Who am I to do anything else?
Was the contact was made with yourself? Yeah.
The funny thing about it was there was a gentleman named Danny Kendrick, and he was the gentleman that married the Apani. And they had some friction within the Sikh community. And I was on a BBC London radio program with them. And within 5 minutes of meeting each other, just a conversation that we had, he realized actually Sikhs are not the problem. Sikhi is not the problem. He shouldn't be made to feel isolated in any way. And he was made to feel welcomed just by us explaining, what our ethos is and our ethics is. And that is one of my main goals that I'm trying to do with this new initiative by getting involved in politics, to let the greater British public and the beautiful people of Wolverhampton South West and Wolverhampton know what Sikhs can do for them, who we are, what our relationship is. Because at the end of the day, if we can serve others, if we can provide and add value to their lives, then they're going to help us, and they're going to want to be a part of us too. That's what happened with Danny and I. And actually, if you watch that BBC program, it was Danny and his wife and their little baby, I believe. She was pregnant at the time. They're the ones that gave him my number. And so they contacted me. I thought it was a Basics of Sikhi thing. So I tried actually getting the real Basics of Sikhi Pracharaks on. They didn't want them. So I said, okay, obviously I'm going to go. I'll have to do the seva. And when I got on there, I didn't feel like it was it was a rude awakening what happened on that show. Because we got on live, and I felt they were really butchering and attacking Sikhi in a vile way. It wasn't a let's get to the truth. It was a let's make the Sikh people look like they're racist, arrogant people. So I'm on there, and I look around, and I thought, wait, look, I'm actually the only Sikh here, and I will defend my guru and faith till a dying breath. And my only desire, my only thought that I had, the predominant thought I had, was the Anant Karaj issue, the stopping of the weddings and the protests of the weddings. I thought at the heart of that is stopping beadabi, disrespect to our living Guru, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So obviously any Sikh that has love for their Guru is not going to want to have their Guru disrespected. And they've gone through a whole process of talking to committees, of trying to stop things well before, and this is like, again, a last resort. So it's never a first resort, it's a last resort, even in this case. And at that same time, a lot was going in Punjab. And I tried to keep as knowledgeable about what's going on with Sikhs and around the world as general.
Like the Italian thing.
Like the Italian thing, exactly. Because we're all one Panth at the end of the day, and we're one world. So we have to think about everybody. And at that time, Singhs were being shot and killed in the street. By Jaspal Singh was shot. A 19-year-old engineering student.
Burgadi was happening at that point.
I'm sorry?
Burgadi was happening at that point.
A lot was going on. And I was going to say conversationally on the show, look, to stop disrespect of our living guru, we don't have a holy book, we have a living guru.
Yeah.
Big difference, right? We respect holy books, but we don't have one. We have a actual living guru, and we're willing to sacrifice our lives. So then you can understand what is going on. Sikhs are dying over there for the protection and the honor of their guru. So obviously we hold it just as dear here, that honor and love and respect. And the host, Sean Williams, she actually didn't give me an opportunity to speak. And what happened is our segment was cut short about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So before going on, they said, don't worry, you're going to have your time, we're running late. And then when I was trying to stand up for what Sikhs believe in and put right, wrong statements they had made, she said, hang on, I'll come back to you. So I thought, you know what? I've got to be respectful. Nobody wants to give Sikhs a bad name. Yeah. We're on international, national television here. Let's be respectful as we can. She told me she's going to come back to me. So I literally bit my tongue. And I said, okay, I didn't like that point. That person is wrong. That person is wrong. That person is wrong. And I could have gone around and just annihilated them because they were not saying very nice things about Sikhs, right? And they were being fallacious purposely. And then Sean Williams, she didn't come back to me. And at that time, I thought she was cutting to break. And then I thought, no, she's actually going to the next segment. It's all over. And then it was about a good minute. And internally, I thought, look, if I've come on national television and I haven't spoken the truth to power, if I haven't done the right thing, then shame on me. And in that moment, I thought, look, even if I'm finished in life, even if I have to leave the country, even if first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distance myself from Basics of Sikhi because they're more important than I ever was. So these are the things I said. I said this, and then Guruji just took over, and I had to stand up, and I just want to get that one sentiment out there that Sikhs are dying in Punjab, and the BBC and none of the UK media, none of the international media, everybody was ignoring it. And I thought, what an atrocity, what a disservice to the British people. So what I did on the BBC was a service to the white man, the brown man, the black man, the everyday man that is being lied to in the way that they're not being told the truth by their mainstream media.
Or lie by omittance.
Exactly.
Not a lie.
Well, you know what? If you know the truth and you hide the truth, there's a fine line between ignorance and purposefully suppressing the truth. So that's why I say it does come into a lie. So I felt I was doing a service not only to the Sikh faith and to the Panth, because that's where my allegiance lies. And I tell you why my allegiance lies there, because the Panth, the Sikhs are here to serve the whole world. So it actually comes back to the British public, the public that I want to serve in Wolverhampton South West and the whole of Wolverhampton and nationally. So it comes back to them. So, and what happened on social media after what happened there? Guruji's blessing.
Absolutely.
It could have gone one way. It could have been, this is the worst guy ever.
You invited back on the BBC.
Yeah, get rid of him. And I would have just said, you know what, I am sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect, and actually said that to her. Yeah. I didn't mean to disrespect you or so, but when the truth needs to be said, when we have to stand up for what is right, you have to do that, regardless of yourself.
Yeah. But I'm not trying to pretend I'm Sean Williams.
Yeah.
But I will come back to you.
Sure.
I promise.
No problem, sir.
So we're just going to quickly cut to a break. We'll be back straight after, and we're going to talk politics and the election with Jagmeet Singh. So join us in a minute. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.